Alright everybody, as forewarned, today I'm taking a day off from organizing my magic cards, though I'm still throwing it into the video series anyway. Talk about something I picked up on Friday night. Partially because I'm a little bit magicked out and I need a break. I mean, I've been doing this every single day for over a month, and I've only taken one day off from it to talk about Battletech. Well, the Battletech CCG. So now I'm talking about the Battletech introductory box set. It came out recently. The Battletech game itself has been around since the 1980s. It's actually it's an interesting thing. It's a tactical level strategy game. Giant robots stomping around, blowing stuff up. Kid science, fun stuff. So here it is. Some people who are familiar with the franchise might balk at this particular illustration on the front, as on account of the fact that the mech on the front, its official stats don't have any chest-mounted weapon. So these two weapon ports right here and that laser fire, now they're not really supposed to be there. They're not on that mech. That's called hammer hands. It's actually a decent mech. The reason why it's in that pose is because it's meant as an homage to the original Battletech box set cover illustration, which had a Warhammer on it. And rather than using the newest illustration for Warhammer, which only vaguely resembles the old one, they went with the hammer hands. The original Warhammer illustration they can't use because of all sorts of crazy legal crap regarding the art. Story for another day. So the box itself, yeah, hey, it's a box. It looks slick, reasonably durable cardboard, good for storing the set and transporting. I'm going to put that off to here where it won't fall down. Comes with several little booklets. We've got quick start rules, which gives you a watered down version of the game rules. Introductory rule book, which gives you a fair amount of rules for the game, and even including basic construction rules, which I think is a really nice thing to put in there. So just with this box set alone, you can have, and I crap you not on this, you can literally just with this box set have years upon years of fun. You really can, because you got the construction rules. You can make so many different variations of mechs, make up your own mechs, etc., etc., etc. It's a great thing. We got Inner Spirit Glance booklet, which gives you information on this, some very basic information on the setting, which is a nice thing to have. But if you've been following the Battletech universe for any real amount of time, you know that it's a good sized booklet. It's the size of a small magazine there, even with relatively small type and everything. Even a dossier on a few of the mechs. The big thing with that, of course, that doesn't even come close to covering the Battletech universe. It really doesn't. And I've paged through it. It's your standard, bam, here, and it really is at a glance, like it says. Because it's a really in-depth setting if you actually take the time to stop and read about it and familiarize yourself with it. Wow, a lot of neat stuff there. War and politics, kids. We have a quick reference rules card made out of reasonably stiff, heavy paper / light cardboard, whatever you want to call it. That's a nice thing to put in there. It really is. We have a booklet with record sheets, all of the mechs included. They give you a good mix of minis with it. I'll talk about those in a second. Record sheets for the quick start rules, a couple of tanks, even some battle armor and infantry. In-depth record sheets for all of the mechs included as minis. Did they put in? I think they put in blank sheets. Yep. Blank sheet for any custom jobs you want to put together. It's also a nice thing to have. A poster-sized map the Inner Sphere, circa 3067, which actually is later. By the 3067, the mechs that they give you with the stats that they show you are kind of obsolete, really. I mean, they're great fun to play against each other, but if you have 3067 era mechs, it will usually tear the statted versions they give you for these apart. There actually are updated versions, updated stats for those available, for pretty much all of those, really, of varying quality. Comes with 2 6-sided dice. All the rolls in the game done 2 6-sided dice. You get a pack of fold-up cardboard maps. I haven't opened them up. I've seen the likes of them before. They're good. They're pretty solid. No complaints about that. A couple of things that we do have in here. We have a little guide called How the Rule Books Work, which is basically just an advertisement for all the other rule books. Yeah, it is what it is. You're not going to buy a product like this without getting a flyer saying, hey, here's more stuff that you might want to buy if you like this. I'm not going to complain about people trying to advertise like that. You know, a guide for painting and stripped down miniatures rules. If you want to play without hex boards and actually have terrain, that's great for the people that are into that. Absolutely great. I mean, I've never been one into the minis aspect of the game, but for those that are into it, I mean, for those who, you know, enjoy it, that's great, you know? I can't really comment on how good or how bad their minis painting guide is. Alright, the minis that the set did come with. You came with an assortment of, let's be perfectly blunt, cheap plastic minis. These really are cheap plastic minis. Some of the poses chosen are kind of weird. I mean, we've got the Enforcer with one of his arms jutting straight out to the side. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. It's relatively low quality plastic. The sculpts, for the most part, aren't too bad. On some of them, they look kind of spindly. I mean, as a lovely example, the Atlas looks anemically thin with hunched shoulders and thin legs. I mean, I'm just not too keen on that particular sculpt of it. I guess that's just me. They're not the best put. I mean, like I said, cheap, low-quality plastic figures, and that's exactly what you're getting here. I mean, it is what it is. Some of the complaints about it when I first time I opened up the bag that these minis came in, an arm fell out along with the minis. The arm actually belonged to this fellow right here. It's a Vindicator. This arm right here had fallen off, and if you look really close, can't really make it out very well. His right arm isn't exactly on there securely either, and the spider, this little piece that looks on his back, was glued on upside down. Upside down. So yeah, his jump jet port is facing the sky. That's not exactly a good thing. Oh well. So they are what they are. They're great. You know, they're great if you don't want to buy into the minis, but you want something that looks cool to put on the on your hex sheets. And to be perfectly honest, it is a fair sight better than what the original box set had, which was just pieces of cardboard that you'd fit into a plastic stand. So take it or leave it. That's all on you. It also came with 2 so-called, I want to say they called them premium figures, whatever. I just opened them up and looked at them for the first time today. This is the Thor. He comes pre-assembled, or at least this one did. And he actually looks really good, especially compared to these 6 sons of, you know. And also came with a Loki, which did not come pre-assembled, and I don't know if, you know, they're both supposed to be pre-assembled, or only one is, or what the heck the deal is. They also came in their own little sub-box to make sure they didn't get damaged. Bouncing around with these little cheap guys. I guess I could call these the equivalent of little green plastic army men for Battletech. You know, they're cheap, they're plentiful, they get the job done. I can't really complain about this box set. I mean, it does a decent job presenting the rules. It comes with a lot of stuff. And, no, I mean, it's a good set. It really is. Is it worth the purchase price of $50? That's the real question. I can't answer that for you. That's something each individual consumer is going to have to answer on their own. My friendly local game seller discounted it down to $40 plus tax because he's good like that. But, I mean, I don't know, I think this would be great if you're trying to introduce people to the game. Hence this title of introductory box set. It's got some good stuff in it. If you're already hardcore into Battletech, I really don't think I can recommend it other than being a cheap demonstration piece. If you want to dip your toes into Battletech, if you love giant robots and or tactical warfare, you can go wrong several other ways than this. If you get into it and you love it, you will stay with the game for years upon years. I mean, I've loved Battletech since... oh, wow, I've loved the game for 20 years. Or more. I want to say I got into it right around the same time I got into D&D, so I want to say around 87-ish. My memory might be off on that. I can't be 100% certain, but yeah, I mean, it's just great stuff. And like I said, you can get hours upon hours, dare I say years of fun, just out of the material in this box set. You really can. So, I mean, if I were to rank it on, you know, scale of 1 to 10, if you're not into the Battletech universe, and you're thinking about, and you want to look into it, I'd probably rank this at around 8 out of 10. If you're looking for something you can use to demo the game, I would easily call this a 10. If you're already familiar with the Battletech universe, I really cannot rank this for value for money higher than like a 3 or a 4. But that's really, really corner case stuff. I honestly bought it mostly because I was curious about the minis that came with it, because I've never been a mini guy. And, you know, my friendly local game seller does actually sell Battletech minis, but I've never been the one to get into that kind of stuff. It requires a heckload more patience than I'm willing to put into making little metal guys and painting them up and displaying them and moving them around and getting them dinged up, etc., etc., etc. So, hey, it's not my thing. I mean, you should see some of the pictures. Even in the books that come with this, I mean, you've got someone who's like done up a mini that looks like it's got half its side blown out with flames coming out the back with a projectile flying through it. I mean, the level of detail and effort that some people put into it is psychotic. But then again, I suppose you can say that all gamers are psychotic in some way or another, like most of humanity. Oh, that's a whole other kettle of fish, though. Ugh, humans. Ugh. But, hey, this is my review. Take it or leave it. If you disagree, hey, great. That's all on you. If you want more information, you can talk to your friendly local game seller. Or if you want more information on Battletech in general, you can visit, I believe it's still called classicbattletech.com. Or do a search for Catalyst Game Labs. They currently are the publishers of the Battletech franchise. And, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of information out there. And, call that a wrap. Be good, fellas.